welcome to another episode of Manifestation Real Talk. Today, I'm going to be interviewing you'll probably hear me use this word a lot, vivacious Emily Penton, because that just describes her completely. She has developed the inner clarity system, and today's interview, I'm going to be recording it from the very moment we meet. Usually, I I don't start recording until the guest and I have done a little chatting and getting to know one another. But today, because the two of us are like two peas in a pod, I am going to be recording from the moment she comes online and we meet each other for the first time. So there's going to be probably a lot of squealing and a lot of excitement and a lot of high energy. In the image below is Emily. And this is the book that she has written, the You're Not Broken ebook. Now, because my show tends to focus on the God version of who you are, I probably won't be going deep into that version of her. But you never know. We're just going to be flowing. We're just going to be riffing it. And so hold on, because she's going to be coming on here very, very soon. And I can't wait to share this with all you guys. I can't wait to share this exciting and fun interaction between two exceptionally powerful women. See you guys in a minute. Emily? Emily, I can hear you. Demute
Hi.
yourself. There you are. Oh my gosh. Yay.
There's my sister motherfucking Clark.
That a girl. She knows me. She knows me. Emily Penton, my sister from another mister.
Oh, so good to see you. So good to meet you. I got your email and I was just like lit up. Like I was literally, I was like, to be totally honest with you, I was like, all right, another request. Okay. And then I was like, ooh, I was like, this is different. I want to go to this interview. I want to go to all my interviews, but oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk to you.
I know. I'm so excited to talk to you. Now, I never, ever start the recording before I get to meet the person. We chat a little bit, but I was like, oh no, that's the juice. That's the best part of the interview is when people meet each other for the first time and they're not
cussed. Oh no.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that a girl. Oh, come on. You think I would have MF in my name if I had a problem with cussing?
No, I just didn't like, doesn't like YouTube like dock you if you cuss or whatever?
No. Oh, hell to the no. Hell to the no. Maybe they used to, but not since I've been on. Not my world. I'll tell you, I love cussing because there's this freedom in there. It's like, we censor ourselves. And, during COVID, we wore our mask and there was the biggest censor ever. And I did actually a video about that. And boy, did I get some backlash. Boy, did I get attacked. And it was like, oh my gosh, when we give ourselves permission to just, like you said, oh, look, there's that breath. I got to talk to you about that breath. When we give ourselves permission to just let flow, like you said, it's like, I don't plan this out. I just want to flow. And woo, out sneaks a fuck or something like that. And people are like, oh, I love that. I mean, you talk about somebody who likes to poke the bear, and that's me. But the thing is it's 4 letters making a sound.
And we put the meaning on it.
Yes, yes. And isn't that the absolute epitome description of freaking life? We put the meaning on.
And the authenticity, like literally, I believe that words have spirit, and there's the spirit of fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, if there is anything that describes me, it is that. And it is fuck what is happening. It is fuck what did I do? And it is fuck yes. And that's just how I live. And so there's no way I cannot have the word fuck in my life. Like it is who I am. Yeah. I am the spirit of fuck.
Oh, I love it. Oh, girl, we're going to have so much fun. This is going to be it already is on fire. But I'm going to tell you, there on my Instagram, I had posted this thing saying, I've gotten to a point in my life where it's Fuck yes, I want to hang out with you. Fuck yes, I want to give you my energy. Fuck yes, let's play. And if it's anything less than that, then it's fuck no, hard pass.
Yeah.
And even if it's family, even if it's, it's like there's another word that we attach all this meaning to. And
Ugh.
I love that. I love that breath. I'm going to say that breath is why I reached out to you.
Really?
Because yes, okay. So before you and I got on here, I introduced you and I show a picture of your book and everything. So everybody already knows about you. But there is so much to Emily that you guys don't know. And there's this whole history of bipolar and depression and starting carnivore. And if you guys get a chance to look at her on her Instagram, that you have that 3 stage where, you're sitting on the couch fully ignoring your kids. I was like, oh, this is good. This is good. And then in the next one, you totally are in the middle, and then there's that one of you are this, you wouldn't know that's the same person. There's no way that third version of you is the same person. And I love that you had said you had done so for all you guys watching, and I'm just going crazy here. I first saw Emily on the Homestead How on YouTube with Carrie. I don't even know what Carrie's last name is. Try and find his
Carrie
man.
Man.
Yeah, try and find that guy's last name anywhere, and you won't. It's like I searched and searched. I'm like, we'll just call him Carrie. And in this interview, she fully talks about her journey through MS, and just we all have hit the dirt and started digging, and we get to rock bottom and we start mining away, and then we lunch. Every single one of us, we've got that dirt, that life is dead. I just want to die. I'm done. I'm done with this journey. And you literally do die. You literally do die because the person you are now, as you said over and over, you're like, oh, the first year I wasn't the same person. The second year on carnivore, I totally. And then you're like, now it's 6 months. And it's like, look at how many deaths you have experienced and just came out fully new, fully new. And this, I don't know if you saw, I did a interview with a lady who has a great channel. It's called Dearly Not So Departed, where she interacts with non-physical and stuff. And of course, I came in there and rocked the whole boat on that. But this is what I believe death is. It's that you get to a certain version of yourself, and you're like, no, I'm done with that. I'm done. And you literally dig a hole, put that person in, cover them with concrete because they will dig out their way out, and zombie around. And you take on a whole new life. And this is why I reached out to you, because I kept seeing that version of you peeking through with Gary. You'd be like, he'd bring up, your what I call the old man. He'd bring up the old man, the old dead version of you, and you're going, I know. And then you'd get to talk about the new man, you doing grounding and all that. And this little kid emerged, and you're like, yes, everything you're doing here, you're just like, and he'd talk about some wonderful thing that would happen from carnivore, and you'd be like, yeah. And you could see that little kid just it's like, let me loose, let me go to talk about me and all my fun. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to lasso that girl and get her in here because she's got a lot to say. So I am going to let you go here in a minute, but I did introduce everybody to your inner clarity systems, and there's no way I'm going to, talk about the way you talk about it, but we're gonna riff. And this chick is so open-hearted, guys. Emily is so beautifully open-hearted. She talk about somebody who wears their emotions on their sleeve. Holy shit. You are an open book, and vivacious and energetic. And I just love seeing somebody who instantly became my hero. Instantly. I didn't watch you 5 seconds, and I was like, oh, there's another hero. There's another one I got to talk to. So let's let Emily, the amazing Emily Penton, go and tell whatever feels like coming up, whether it's the old man or the new man or somewhere in between.
Thank you so much, Kristen. I'm so grateful to be connected with you. Like, it's cool that we're hitting record and that a bunch of people get to watch this, but I don't give a fuck. I'm just happy to be talking to you. Like, I am just happy to be talking to you. Because I think that you get things on this other level. And the delusion is that I was in, and that so many people that come to me are in, is that they are broken and they need to be fixed. I am mentally ill. I am physically ill. I am broken. No, you're not
No.
broken. You are brilliant. Everything that is literally formed in you, in your illness, in your disability,
Yeah.
is intricately on purpose to be your superpower.
Oh,
It
well,
is
well
not,
said.
it is not your, this is my thorn in my side and this is what I'm going to suffer with. No, like, go and look at that and realize that that is your greatest gift. I am so thankful for bipolar disorder. I am so thankful for multiple sclerosis, because it wouldn't have pressed me to the place that I was so uncomfortable that I was like, I got to do something. I got to do something. I am going to the psych ward, or I'm going to the nursing home, or I'm going to kill myself. Those are my options. And so I had to do something. And what I discovered was that I'm brilliant. And
Oh,
that was everything. And that's why I tell people all the time, you're not broken. You're actually brilliant.
I love that you said pressed you, because what happens from pressure, a diamond emerges.
Ta-da!
Oh, to fucking da. Oh my God. And there's this a speaker out there, and he talks about when you get down to the deepest of the darkest of depressions, it's literally like a slingshot, because the further you pull back a slingshot, the further that thing is gonna fly.
Yep.
And yeah, and oh my God, you talk about the super, you see the superhero movies where they take off their clothes and they launch, and when they launch, this big thing of dust and dirt goes, and that was you. That was so you. And I love that you got to the point of suicide, because I've done a video on what is suicide, and it's getting so sick and tired of a state of being, a state of mind, a state that you're like, no more. I'm not. And there, because before that it was like, I am, I'm carrying my state around with me. And then you're like, no, I'm done. I am dropping this motherfucker. I'm done. You guys can't make me do anything else. And that is suicide. And I've been there. I was standing on the end of a pier. Nobody knows this. I'm admitting it now. There's that breath. Had the backpack on with full of weights. My 25-pound kettlebell was in there. All my weights were in there. I was at the end of the pier, ready to go. All I needed to do was take one more step. And see, everybody's like, oh, you changed your mind. You changed your mind. And it's like, no, I took that step. But that's what death is. It's here, if you want to say that. But let's say it really happened. It really happened. I really took the step off and let go of that version of me. And death is simply just going, oh, take that backpack off. Okay. Now, we think death is this, you die and then here's heaven and everybody is there waiting for you with open arms. But maybe death is just simply walking out that door. And then the next step of getting back in your car and going, okay, I didn't do it. And then what arises from that? Because what arises from that is a surprise. At least it has been for me. And I've literally died 3 times. And each time it was opening your eyes in another space of, what just happened? Wait a minute. I thought I died. Wait, no. Oh, okay. So there's somebody there to help me. And now you just keep going on. You keep going on. You don't have this shut the book, we're done. The end. There is no the end. And it's so fascinating. But I love, like you said, the pressure thing, because this diamond is right here. And I'm going to quit talking so this diamond can lay her brilliance.
No, but it's so funny because death is such a theme in my life and in the life of my clients. Is what has to happen, or for me, what had to happen is I had to get very comfortable with death. And I say that 2019 was the worst and the best year of my life, because that old Emily is gone. And like, love her, thank her. Like, I can't believe she got me to 40 years old. I cannot believe that she sustained that hell for 40 years. Thank you, Emily. But she's gone. Like, she has not come back, and she will not come back. And now I chase death, almost like where's my next suicide? Like, let's go. Where's my next layer of my ego that has to die? Because it is not only like a diamond, but it's like an onion where we're just like peeling off all of these layers to get to the good, to get to that diamond that's really in there. And whenever I'm able to show that to my clients, that like, it's good that this version of you is dying, because there's a new version that's ready. And she's so amazing. Like, every new Emily that I meet, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're my bestie. Like, I love you. And I'm so glad that she's here now. And literally, like, got a new one a month ago. New one a month ago. So
oh my God.
It's
tell
my
me
favorite.
about her.
Oh my gosh. She is so free. Like, she is so detached from anything. Like, she's even detached from like former bosses that spoke like negatively over her and didn't feel her, didn't see her. Emily's just like shed. Former mean girls from grade school or high school, shed. Even good people, like, oh, I miss so-and-so, and I just love the time that I get to spend with so-and-so. She's good, but she's not me. And I don't have to hold on to anything. And so this Emily is just so freaking happy in her own skin. And anybody who comes to play, awesome, let's play. But I'm not going to mourn you. I'm not going to, have trauma from you. I'm not going to long for you. I've got me here, and we are having so much fun. If you want to come join the fun, let's play. But if you're not here, it's out of sight, out of mind, like literally. Like, I'm just so happy to be watching all of the beauty unfold in my life. It's so fun. And it's contagious.
My God,
I do that for the people that I work with. The people I work with, they're with me for like 2 weeks, and they're like, oh my gosh, like, you've opened my mind to so much more. And I'm like, yeah, girl, you are a diamond. Like, let's go.
Oh, I love this. And I love that you said contagious, because it's like, there we are again. I live up in the mountains of Southern California, and it's like, when people think of Southern California, they think of Hollywood and beaches. And it's like, no, there's snow outside on the ground. And during yesterday's workshop, it was snowing, and it was just like, wow. And I went for Christmas. I went down to Ventura, which is a very populated area, and I was blown away. There were people still wearing masks. And I was like, oh, there's still people wearing masks. And I'm like, you can't catch my contagion of happiness and joy and excitement if you're wearing that mask. and it was just so eye-opening for me to see this other world, and just going, I'm not available for that. I'm going to make a right turn and go find my 5-year-old grandson, who, is just everybody's best friend. And he is the next major political person coming, because he walks around, and every stranger, hello, hello. I mean, literally, hello. He's got the wave down, and he's everybody's best friend. And there's nobody that's going to be able to push him away because he'll come right up to you and tell you all the important things of life, like his new dinosaur or whatever. And I love that. I love just watching him and going, yes, there it is. There's that life. And I love that you said contagious because that's what's contagious. Anyway, say what you were going to say.
Yeah, it's so funny. A lot of people don't know this, but I have my master's in clinical counseling. I practiced as a therapist, and when I healed and I went back to work in the mental health field, I was quickly realized that I don't belong there.
Yep.
That licensing board and the insurance panels do not want me talking to clients about food. They wanted me to just have the modalities, keep them on my schedule for 6 months, and just keep talking about the same thing over and over and over and having no progress. And I didn't align with that. I couldn't do it anymore. And so I was
Yeah.
like, I don't care about the letters behind my name. Call me a coach. Like, I don't care. And when I realized that I could move my practice online, oh my gosh, I could help the world. Like, I have clients in Sweden and New Zealand and Canada and all over. So it
Love
expanded
that.
me. It didn't
See?
make me smaller. It
Look at
expanded
that.
me. But here's the thing that a lot of people don't know. Whenever I was building Inner Clarity System, I was going from being an employee to being a business owner. And I didn't have that security of a paycheck. And it was like a mind fuck for me. Like, I
Oh,
was
yeah.
just like, what do you mean? I don't know how I'm going to make rent next month. I have a client this month, but am I going to have a client next month? And it was just like this anxiety that came through. And I was just like, uh, okay, what am I going to do? And I went back to my roots, and I used to be a preschool teacher. I called up the local daycare that I've worked at multiple times, and I called the director and I was like, "Hey, can you put me in your 2-year-old's room?" And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "I know, I'm way overqualified. You can pay me whatever you want to pay me. I don't care. I need to be surrounded by
Oh,
8 to 10 2-year-olds." And she was like, "Yes, like, oh my gosh, we would love to have you and have you mentor the other teachers and everything." And I was just like, awesome. And what I did was I worked part-time at this daycare, and then I had the flexibility and the free time to build my business. And those children were my medicine.
oh,
Those children gave me the fuel. And because if I had went into another, like a caseworker or another therapy where I had to do documentation and lifeless, and where it's like soul sucking, I would have never had what I needed to have to build Inner Clarity System. So I literally got this medicine from these babies and gave them my medicine. I mean, I gave these babies so much love. And then I was able to multiply that for my clients. And so children are everything. And
oh,
I love that you have that connection. And the reason why is because they know that the whole world revolves around them, that they
yes,
are the main attraction to the show. And we all are.
exactly. Exactly. Isn't that awesome? They know they're the best reality show out there. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. It's like, get off social media and watch me because I'm way better. Trust me. Oh my
So
gosh.
true. I had yesterday one of my nephews, he turned 1, and they're in Texas, and I couldn't be there, and so they set up a Zoom meeting with a camera so that I could like sing happy birthday, watch him like do the smashed cake and everything. And at the end of it, like, I didn't want to stop watching, and she was like,
Oh,
do you want to go?" And I'm like, "No." I literally sat
no.
there for 45 minutes just watching his TV show.
Yeah. I just, it, and I actually even did a video called It's All About You because it really is when you stop playing with I have this, I have that, I'm dragging all this along with me and everything. And you just drop all that and you just focus in on you, the you that's here, right now, the you
Mhm.
that has no memory of ever not existing, the you that has no memory of this body right here ever dying. And it's like, if you have no memory of that, why would you believe in it? Because I that was part of the amazing interview I did with her name was Janet Anderton on Not Dearly Not So Departed. Because at one point she goes, well, but this body dies, and I'm like, no, it doesn't. And she's all, and I'm like, do you have any memory of this body ever dying? This version of you, this version of you, do you have any memory of that? And she's all, well, no, but I've found a dead body. And I'm like, yeah, but that's a memory. That's in your mind. That's imagination. Everything that goes on in this mind is imagination. The only thing that you can see it, taste it, touch it is happening right now, is happening
Mm.
right here, right now. And this now version of you has never not existed. And it's like, now go forward with that tool, with that, superpower. And oh shit, the world that opens up from there. And the coolest thing, I love that you were saying, you just let go of, whether it's a person or whatever that's trying to pull you back down into the mud. Because when you let go of that, the people that rush into those
Oh,
spaces, right? The idealists, the visionaries, the powerful minds that come in that space, like me and you, it's like, oh, I
you
love
got to
that.
make
You do.
room. You got to make room for them. It's like you're at capacity. And if you're sitting there and you're holding the girl that made you feel bad and embarrassed you in kindergarten, then you can't let in Kristen motherfucking Clark. Like, come
Yeah,
on. Like, I'm
yes.
so glad that I let her go so that you could come in today.
Exactly. Exactly. And because people will, oh, I can let go of that one. But this one is my, cousin. But this one is my father. But this one is my whatever label you want to put on it. It's like, no, there's that there's those, you're the only one creating this significance in this label to make this significance even bigger. And you're the only one that's hiding, like you said, layers. It's like push that rock off and push that rock off, and look how you float just a little bit more. And the coolest thing is, it's like when you let go of that version of them, you're doing
Yeah.
them a favor, a
Mm.
huge favor, because you're the creator of this reality. And when you plop when you're giving somebody a role to play that sucks, it's like being, the boss of your reality, of your business, and saying, okay, you got to play this role. You got to play this. You're my employee and you got to play this role. Sorry, it sucks, but that's the way it is. I'm sorry, you were going to say something.
Well, and it goes back to contagion, that it is literally contagious. Like I have found, like I am literally in my own house, in my own quiet time, in my own thing, and I am healing and I am releasing and I am like leveling up. And then all of a sudden I go to like a family thing or go have tea with someone, and like I'm expecting, oh, well, I don't know, we won't be able to have a deep conversation. And they're like, oh my gosh, I just read this book and blah, 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 blah. And then they're like, I've been having this thought and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, I'm like, they're healing too. And like they were in their house. I was in my house. We weren't even talking about it. And so I'm healing my family, like
Yes,
by not even touching
manifestation,
them.
real talk. There you go, right there. That's manifestation. You don't
Mm.
even know you're doing it. You don't even know you're doing it. I was just thinking about that, and there it is. Yeah, babe, there you go. Manifestation takes no effort, takes nothing. It just takes you just being you.
Mm.
And whether it's the you playing with depression or it's the you playing with I am a god. It doesn't matter. I love you said expected, because one of the things I always tell everybody is you get what you expect. You always get what
Mm.
you expect. That's the ultimate creation. That's the ultimate manifestation. You expect there to be butter in your refrigerator. You open the door, there's butter. It's that easy. It's that simple. You expect your bathroom to have the toilet over there and the shower over there and this colored towels, and you walk in there and poof, baby, that's you. That's you. And isn't it so much fun? I love that. I love that. I love the contagion because I never thought about it that way till
Well,
you and I
because
got going here.
whenever you get strategic and you're like, okay, like we got to go in and I got to like surgically remove this thing and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, that's not what we have to do. Like, we literally just have to have the power that is within us be so bright and so
Yeah.
light that it just like literally like blasts out all the lies. Like, everything else can just dissipate as long as there's that
Yes.
truth. And I'm the only one that knows. That's why I named my business Inner Clarity System, because that truth, that inner clarity, that inner knowing is all that guides us and governs us and really is the propellant for all of this. And so whenever I can operate in that, then I can pull so much fun stuff to me. But if I'm like sitting there going, okay, we need a 3-step plan, and then we need a 5-month goal, and then we need a 10-month goal, and are we on track? Let me track my progress, and let me check my spreadsheet, and shut up. Just have fun and love the moment.
My license plate on my car is easy fun. Easy
Easy
fun.
fun.
Easy fun. Because I'm always telling everybody it's simple, easy, and fun. And when you are making it harder than that, that's on you, because nobody's receiving that difficulty except you. You're the only one in here. So when you're looking at, some gorgeous mountain covered in snow and the sun is just right and it's all pink and everything, the only one that's going, holy fuck, is you. You're the one receiving that. You think you're saying that at the mountain, but you're the one receiving that. And the same goes
Mm.
if you're going, oh, that political person sucks and we got to do something about that. Rah! You're the only one receiving that anger. You think your anger is pushed at that person, but that person isn't receiving it. You are. You're the only one feeling that ickiness and that. And so when you were talking about when Carrie would bring up depression, you're like, and I'm like, oh, there it is. There it is. Let's breathe that out. And it's like you instinctively understand it's all about you. You're the only one feeling every single one of those thoughts, those memories, anything that comes up as a feeling. You're the only one. You're the only one that's feeling that. And you can try and describe it and explain it and show a picture to everybody all you want, but they're not going to feel what you're feeling, whether it's poison or whether it's medicine. You're the only one. And that's
Mm.
that inner clarity. That's that beautiful inner clarity. I love you said shine because you so shine. You are such you talk about beacon, man. You are a blinding light, lady. And I'll do this. I'll troll through YouTube on the lookout for the shiners. And
Mm.
boy, instant boom, instant. I don't even know what they're talking about. I'm getting that person to come in. And I do you know who what's his name? He did the book Conversations with God.
I've
Uh
heard of that.
Jer- anyway, he's huge. He was homeless and he was down in the depths of the rocks and everything. And he started God, it's right on the tip of my tongue.
Here, I'll
He
look it up.
start Yeah. Google it. He started channeling God, and he would ask God questions and God would answer, and he wrote a book called Conversations with God, and it just launched him into it was his key to stardom. And he now he doesn't have a money problem or anything. And
Neil Donald
Neil Donald
Walsh.
Walsh. There he is. And he was amazing. The version of him that was channeling God. And for me, I understand you're not really channeling God. You're just that's your permission slip to let your God shine through, to let that
Mm.
brilliant wisdom that's all in here come
Mm-hmm.
through. It's like that onion. It's the peeling back. Oh, boo, here it comes. And it's just your permission slip. It's fine. It's great. Abraham Hicks or any of those guys. It's like you are the God.
Yeah.
and your God is shining through. And what I loved is I sent out an invitation for him to come on my channel here, and it came, his response back was absolutely, well, yes, I'd love to. But then his marketing person took over and said, you can only ask these questions. It can only be about his new book. And so I started reading his new book, and that was not the guy that I wanted to talk to. There was no shine anymore. The shine was being buried again.
Wow.
And I reached out to him and I said, if you're on my channel, we're just going to riff. We're going to have fun. I don't really want these set questions I have to ask you. Every other, person's already done that with you. Let's do something new and fun. And let's find your shining again. And wouldn't do it. So I said, okay, well, thanks for, reaching out and saying yes. And another time. And he was very gracious, very kind, but there was such a parameter. There was such a box. We can't step outside
Mm.
this box. And I'm like, okay, all right. But see, what I love is these people like you that are so blinding brilliant that there is no box anymore. The box is
Mm.
long gone. It got buried in the grave with the old man.
Well, what it is also is that it's just like being like a wiggly toddler. Like whenever you try to hold a wiggly toddler and they want down, they're like jello. Like you can't catch me. Like I don't want
You
to
did
sit
that
here.
so well.
Well, because it is. Like you can't. Like they literally get these like Gumby arms and like shift a rib and you can't hold on to them. And so I am like a wiggly toddler. If you start putting me in a box or you start telling me I have to answer a set number of questions, or if you start talking about like how horrible the world is and these politicians and this bad stuff, and I'm
Yes.
like, miss me with that.
Dodge.
Like you can just miss me with that. And that's okay. Like, I'm not sitting here going, you have a problem and you need to look at the positive side, because then what am I
Yeah,
doing? I'm judging.
exactly.
I'm judging them. And so I just stay out of
Yeah.
judgment. And a toddler doesn't go, this is boring. I don't want this. This toddler just goes, I'm going over here. Like, I'm out. So we just need to be wiggly toddlers.
Yeah. I did a video where I was trying to get my grandson. I think he was 3. We were on top of a hill, and way down the bottom of the hill was the playground. And we had already been playing. We've been running up and down the hills. We've been rolling down the hills. We were covered in grass and stuff. And I tried to sit down and do a quick, YouTube short. I had an agenda. And oh, he was having none of it. He sat there and he was looking at himself, and after about 5 seconds of that fun, he just got up mid sentence and went running. And I just turned the camera and I was like, okay, I guess we're done. As he's running down the hill to, yeah, no, he was going to have none of my agenda. I love
Mm-mm.
that. And I couldn't help but just sit there and laugh and go, well, he taught me. Can't catch me. Nope, not going there. I love that. That was a great analogy because I was just recently trying to hold a toddler who just, I love that you're like shift a rib. That's exactly what they do.
They do.
It's
It's like,
like,
there's nowhere to grip. Like
oh,
you're
they're
just
just
like,
like, they just slip right through your grip
it's
and they're off.
amazing. It's amazing.
Oh, that is so perfect. That is just, I love that. How, you know, so with you shifting, becoming this, and literally I don't know if you've ever heard of Neville Goddard, but he really, this is what it's all about is, yeah, the states. Here's this state of being, you let that state of being go and you take on a new state and you live in that state, until you need to live in a new state. So with this new Emily states that are just so much fun and so vibrant, and so how have you noticed your children have changed states?
That's a hard one. My son and I went through a significant tragedy. And I don't talk about it publicly.
Oh,
But it happened just after I got well. And
wow.
so I was so glad because, and I really think it was because I was ready to handle that tragedy. But it really really pulled us apart. And that was like another death because who am I if I'm not his mom?
Yeah.
Like, and to have that pull us apart like that. And, and it was actually the biggest gift. because I was able to realize that even if I am not there in that capacity as his mom, I am still so worthy and so magical and so beautiful. And so then whenever I stood in that
Wow.
light, it was like a rubber band, like boom, like he was just like right back to me. And so
Oh,
if I had that separation and then went, oh, my life is over. Like, who am I if my baby doesn't love me and blah, blah, blah. Like, nah, like I'm dope. Like I am awesome. I am incredible. And I'm just going to be my beacon and be my light. And then that baby boy was just like,
oh.
mama, you know? And so that for me has been so transformational, because I realized I don't have to have any parenting class or any strategy or anything. The best parent I can be is the best version of Emily I can be. Everything
Oh,
else is just going to fall into place.
put that on a t-shirt. Shit, girl, drop the mic. Fuck. That is so huge because it's like, oh yeah, okay, I can do this and I can do that. But this version of me, the parent, has to behave this way. And oh, I love that you said you didn't chase after him. You didn't chase that. You just shined. I love the mama because
No,
my
and
son will call me mama too. And I'm like, where's that come from?
yeah. Well, and it was really hard because through my like spiritual transformation from religion to
Mm.
spirituality, that was very difficult for him. And I found myself hiding, even in my own home, like certain practices or beliefs and everything. And I would just be like I wouldn't say anything. And then I realized that, and then I would have conversations with friends. And then whenever he would like come in the room, I'd be like, I gotta go. I'll talk to you later. Like I'm hiding from my child. And whenever I came out to my son about my spirituality versus religion, it was so freeing because it was
Wow.
ugly. It was ugly. It was ugly, because teenagers know everything anyway. And so he like
Uh,
threw the book at me. And then for me to go, okay, okay, and then stand in unconditional love and just keep literally having my fruit be my message, and
yeah.
the fruit of love, the divine solvent, being what overshadows every argument, everything that we say, everything that we do. It was just like all of a sudden one day he just was like, he just didn't want to talk about it anymore. And
I love it.
he just was so magnetized to me that he didn't
Yeah.
care about the doctrine and the all the
Yes.
arguing. And now we just don't talk about it, and it's okay,
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's dead. It's dead. It's like, why unearth and bring that out? It's dead. It's buried. It's like you don't go to the cemetery and dig up your grandma every time you miss her. She's dead. Let her go. And you move forward. Oh, I love that. Because I'm the mother of a son, and that's it. I just have one. But and he and I we went through some really, really rough times. But what erupted out of those rough times is just like, I would change nothing. And the coolest thing I love doing is I this is something I did is I imagined sitting in a restaurant and he came walking in and I just stood up and said, congratulations. I didn't know what I was saying congratulations about, but I was just, congratulations, and gave him a big hug. And this was after we were a little estranged. And that was just all I would do. If ever his memory popped up in my head for some reason, putting on my makeup or whatever, and all of a sudden I'm thinking about him, I just pull in that congratulations, just that love. And I don't know what I'm loving him for. I didn't know what I was congratulating him for. Well, not more than like 3 days after doing that, I get a call from him and he's telling me about he had had a crush in high school. He'd had just crush. And she was everything, but he was in the friend zone, and he went to the Navy, and they continued in the friend zone, and then he got married and they continued in the friend zone, and she went through 2 marriages and they were continued in the friend zone. Well, they finally just got together, and now and he just proposed to her, and the video of the proposal was so beautiful. And I didn't, and that just all, I'm like, who is that guy down on his knee up on top of the Morro Rock in Sequoia National Park proposing to this woman? Who is that guy? And I realized that is what came out. That's the new man that comes forward with this new version of me, the me that's not playing, oh, mommy role. Oh, I've got to, like you said, take a class. I've got to figure out what I did wrong and how I can fix him because I was a bad mom, or any of that happy bullshit. And just be like, no, this is the son of this God, this brilliant and sun, S-U-N, brilliant, bright, beautiful person. And I can't wait to meet that person. And that's what came out. And it was like, wow. And it all the old shit that every once in a while tries to come up, it's like, okay, just let the brilliant, bright sun just blind that away, because it not necessary, not there. And hey, thanks for coming around, but no thanks. It's like a dark cloud going by. It just goes on by, and you're like, oh, look at that dark cloud. Okay, that's it.
Well, and I didn't realize until recently that I can call forth the truth out of other people. And that is so powerful. Like you did in that situation, you called forth that moment of congratulations. You can call forth the truth in other people. And that is so powerful, because not only is it a gift to me, because now I get to watch this true show instead of this train wreck. They get the joy of the truth. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I'm amazing. Oh my gosh, I like my life. And I'm like, and I don't want to say, yeah, I called forth the truth out of you, but it's a co-creation. Like, I saw you. I do this all the time with my clients when they come to me and they're like, I'm this, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, I'm that. And I'm like, this is so exciting because I see your wellness. Like, I literally don't see your illness. Like, I'm blind. Like, people are colorblind. Like, I am illness blind. Like, I don't see your illness.
That's
all
a powerful
I see is your wellness. And I call forth that truth out of them. Yes. I'm like, let's go.
That's Jesus, right? In the Bible, that's what Jesus did. He didn't see their blindness. He didn't see their sickness. He didn't see any of that. He just saw. And that's what Neville Goddard teaches. He's just like, if your friend comes to you, I lost my job, I have no money, instead of giving them money, which just perpetuates that in your mind, you just see them as, guess what? I just got the best job ever, and I'm getting paid 3 times as much. And that's what I chose to see in my son. I couldn't draw forth a particular situation. So I just drew forth the congratulations and let what arose from that congratulations blow me away. And I knew it would. I knew it would be something amazing. I just didn't know what it was going to be. And I continue to do that. Isn't this the most wonderful thing? And I love that you said, I am. I mean, that is owning, woman. That is owning beautifully. It's just, and I always say this, is everyone is as fascinating. Everyone out there, that guy in the gutter is as fascinating as your heroes.
Guy in the gutter is probably more fascinating.
Probably.
I'd probably rather talk to him.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, oh my gosh, everybody has the most beautiful stories. Let it delight you. Everybody is the most stunning, mind-blowing sunrise. Everybody, every single person. And I can't wait to see what it is. I can't wait, because life, and I think that's what I loved about reaching out to you is, I could just reach out to Neil Donald Walsh, who's spirituality, and only these people who are pocketed in spirituality. But then, you were in Carrie's Homestead How, which is all about the carnivore diet and really all about depression. He does love spinning that story over and over. And it's like, there you were, talking about your spirituality, talking about the physical, the mental, the emotional, bringing life in. It's
Mm,
life isn't a pigeonhole. Life is it all. Life
mm,
is this gorgeousness of everything. And it's like when we pigeonhole ourselves only into the spiritual community and all I can do is surround myself with people who like this subject and this subject only. How fun is that? It's like how fruitful is that? Is it fun? No. You know, reach out and everybody's going to have the most beautiful, wonderful stories of spirituality that arose from MS and depression and all of that and bipolar.
mm.
And it's just
I love that. I love that. And sometimes I think it's so funny because people look at this mountain and they're just like, it will never move. It will never change. This is my lot in life. I have this toxic family member. I have this dead end job. I have this blah, 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 blah. And yeah, if you keep repeating that, that shit's never going to move.
yeah,
Never going to move.
manifestation.
But if
Yeah.
you start with a tiny, tiny piece, like mine was a toxic family member, and I had to start with like probable statements of, I think at one point I can imagine a life where I don't want them dead. That was a good statement. That was
Yeah.
better than I'm going to go over there and kill them now. Like the rage that came up in me. And then it was, I can imagine a life where they stay in their lane and they are happy. And then it was,
That's powerful.
I can imagine meeting with them for tea once every 6 months and talking about the weather. And then it was just like, and it like gradually came into, and then I loved them. I
Yeah.
had to go and love this toxic person in my life.
Yeah.
And when you're sitting there and you're in that pain and you're in that trauma, um, it's so difficult to see that. But I almost, not only did I start small, I got deep into the dirt. Deep. Like I went cray cray deep in the dirt because I was like, okay, how am I going to love this person?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go to the most unlovable person on the planet and figure out a way to love them. So I went in my meditation, in my mental, and I navigated through who is the most unlovable person in my stereotype, and it was a child molester.
Oh,
And
I was
so I
thinking
was
Donald Trump. That's
no,
why I giggled.
but I was like, okay, how would I love not only a child molester, but all child molesters?
Yeah.
Because I have to recognize that I am them and they are me. Just
Mm.
like I did with this toxic family member. I
Yeah.
am them and they are me. We are the same. And so I went in with the child molester and I said, okay, they are molesting this child, but at their core, they're seeking love. They're seeking bond. They're seeking connection with another human being. They're fucked up in the mind and they're doing it wrong in a very abusive way. But they are just like I went to be a 2-year-old's teacher. I love the medicine. I love the bond with these little
Yeah.
2-year-olds. Would I ever sexually abuse one? No, because I'm not there. But I get that bond of wanting to love and that they're just distorted. And so then I got to the point where I could unconditionally, and I would meditate. This sounds so ridiculous. I meditated about child molesters for hours
That's wonderful.
about how can I love, because
Yeah.
I knew if I could love a child molester, I could love my toxic family member. Like this family member was nothing compared to my hour of child molester love. Like, and
Yeah.
then I shifted it into murderers. And I was
Wow.
like, I am just one step away from that. The series Dexter, I love that series. I love where he's cutting the bodies open and the blood splatters on the wall. Like, it's just so fun. I wanted so bad to go in college. At first I was a physical therapist. I was in physical therapy. I wanted to have gross anatomy where you cut on cadavers. Like, it's just so fun. I want to see all the things. And so I am,
That's what you're doing.
and again, there's a
Yeah.
bond. The murderer is grounding and earthing with the blood and with the body. And so I am one step away from being a murderer. I am him or her, and they are me. And so if I
Yeah.
love a murderer, I love a child molester, I can love myself and I can love my toxic family member. And
Yeah.
love is the divine solvent of everything.
Isn't that amazing that you literally were not murdering, but murdering those versions of you? You literally stepped in to the deepest and darkest and grossest aspect of them and just let it, again, there's that bright, amazing light of you. And that, again, I said, with Neville Goddard, Neville, I don't know if you know this, but and a lot of my channel is based on him. But what he did with the Bible is he looked at it from a psychological perspective. It's not a historical account. Every human being stories that are told in the Bible are a state. They represent a state of being. And Jesus is the state of the aspect of you that can imagine and create. I mean, it is your base of your imagination, which is your fount of creation. So you're looking at this person who says they have leprosy, and all you see is them healthy and vibrant, and poof, that's what happens. And that's exactly what you're doing with this murderer and this. You're just being Jesus. You're just using your imagination to strip away that onion and find that light inside, find that brilliant aspect. And oh my God, what a gift! What a beautiful gift! I was doing talk about toxic family members. I was doing a podcast where I was interviewing a woman who was a prostitute. And she loved her job. She loved what she did. She loved her connection with her clients and, and how it came to her. She's just like, do you think I grew up as a kid saying I want to be a prostitute? No, but this is how my connection came about. And she loved, beyond the what people are thinking a prostitute is, she loved what emerged for her. And this was, but I got some serious backlash from a family member because of it, and literally get out of my house, never want to talk to you again. And, and it was just like, well, okay. And while this person was attacking me for this, all I could see was that child, that little child that is
Mhm.
like, that's not love, and I'm not getting the love that I need. And get away, and scratching, and just in my mind, I just grabbed her and just held her and just said,
Mm,
I love you. I love
mm.
you. I love this aspect. And I'm literally doing it to myself. I mean,
Yeah,
we can assign another human being to play that role, but it's you. It's an aspect of you. It's just another part of you coming home to be loved, another one of your children. And you're
yeah.
just like, come on home.
And another part that I think is so important is to realize that this is a play, and
Yes.
that toxic member before this all started is actually my bestie.
Yes.
Like, that toxic family member came in and was like, all right, Emily, I'm going to come in. I'm going to play this role. I'm going to take one for the team, and I am going to refine you into this bright beacon of light. Like, if it wasn't for this toxic family member,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be here. I wouldn't even be me at all. At all. Like, I see the
Yes.
patterns, and I'm so thankful. And
Oh.
even though I want to go hug this toxic family member and go, thank you, bestie,
Yeah.
I can't because
Yeah.
they're toxic, but there's boundaries. But I am so thankful that that has shifted in my mind, where I realize now my biggest enemy is my best
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
friend.
Isn't isn't that amazing? That's such a special place to be in. That's such a wonderful, wonderful, exciting. And what I can tell the people who are watching this is, if you're feeling like, oh, well, she can do that, but I can't do that. That's too much of a struggle. Shift that story you're telling yourself. That inner conversation you're telling yourself right now of that's too hard. Say it, it's so easy. It's so easy. And just let it be. And watch what arises from it's so easy. Your
Mm.
inner conversations are everything. They are everything. And you have so many inner conversations that you don't realize you're having that are creating your world. Like when you say, "Oh, I got to go into the refrigerator and get a cup of milk," and you open the refrigerator and there's the milk, and that simple inner conversation that just went by just created something so amazing and so
Mhm.
fantastic. And we think we have to do all, and going back to what you said a minute ago about, oh no, it's not a process. You don't have to spin counterclockwise 5 times under a full moon. You don't have to do the hoops and the hacks. You can, you sure as hell can if you like that, but you don't have to. It's as
Mm.
simple as thinking, oh, the sun's going to come up around 6 o'clock, so I'll get up at this time. And then, and now tomorrow the sun's coming up at 6 o'clock, babe. You did that. Oh, I love this. So good. So good. So good. So good. So tell me more about now I'm going to tell you a whole new you is arising from, and me is arising from this interaction.
We're
What do you,
co-creating.
I know. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it wonderful? Oh my God. It's so, in fact, the frame around my my license plate that says easy fun says, isn't it wonderful? Because that's such a powerful statement when you feel like you're out of control and you can't control your mind. It's just to go rote. Just, isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? Sitting
Another
there.
one,
Go ahead.
of my favorites, I think it's from, oh gosh, I'm going to forget her name, but, anyway, I'll say the quote and you guys can go look for it. Is she says, when anything happens to her, isn't that interesting?
Oh, yes. um Is it the chick that wrote The Rich as Fuck? Amanda Francis? I think she really
No,
pushes that
I'm
though.
gonna Google
Isn't
it.
it? Isn't it interesting? Isn't that interesting? I do love that too. I love that. Oh, I was just about to ask you something and it went away with that. Oh, I know what I was going to ask you.
Go ahead.
No,
I can't
I
find
do
it.
fine. Oh, you can't find it. So you interviewed, this is a huge shift into left field. You interviewed RJ Spina.
That was my favorite interview.
That
Not my
was a
favorite,
fun
but
interview. Yeah.
one of my favorite. You can literally see in real time my mind being blown. Like
Yes.
I'm like rewatching the video and I'm like, like it was amazing.
When he said carnivore diet is a placebo, where did that take you? Where did you go with that? Because yeah, you saw the mind blowing, and I was like, ooh, I wonder what she thought on that one.
It was just like you just said, that was my permission slip.
Yeah.
That was my permission slip. Just like, I don't know, everything. Like literally, I am creating all of this. And
Yes.
I am creating that carnivore is my permission slip. That carnivore is my ticket out of MS, my ticket out of bipolar disorder. And so
Yeah.
am I a fraud because I share my story? No, because I share my story. If I was a fraud, I wouldn't have put that interview up. Like, I want other people to know that it's all in your mind. And what does it say in the scriptures? It's not what goes in your mouth, it's what comes out of your mouth that
Oh,
matters. And what I would say is what comes out of your thoughts.
yeah.
That's
Inner
what matters.
conversations.
And
Yeah.
so, still to this day, what did I have just now? Fatty animal meat, you know, but I'm eating it going, this is my placebo. This
Yes,
is
this is
my,
my permission.
and as I'm looking at this permission slip, I'm going, man, I can't wait till the next version of Emily who gets to shred this permission slip and gets to go eat all the whatever she wants to eat. Right now, I really don't want vegetables, so I'm
No.
happy where I'm at.
Yeah.
Um, so that's just for me, that's so freeing just to be
Mm,
able to call it what it is and to
I love
go,
that.
carnivore is my permission slip. And a lot of the people that come and work with me, carnivore is their permission slip. And
Yeah.
they have results because they've told themselves, I need to eat fatty animal meat and then my arthritis will go away. My depression will go away. My anything will go away. And then we do it and then it goes away. So, but to call it what it is it's a placebo
Ah,
effect is so important because we need to realize our power. The power is not in the meat. The power is in the fact that I wrote that permission slip. I wrote that placebo
yes.
effect, and
Yeah.
then I can rewrite it.
Yes. Yes. And isn't it interesting that these permission slips will keep coming around until you use them? It's like if you don't use it, and that's kind of where I'm at. Because my very, very good friend of since I was in high school is Dana Spencer. And she's like the original queen of the carnivore diet. We're going
Oh,
on
awesome.
17 years now. And she's very elusive. She doesn't go on social media much. And every once in a while she'll show herself, and she was on Kelly Hogan's channel just once. And she we so she's for years, her and I are, and she's been carnivore forever. We would go backpacking for like 4 or 5 days, and she would make pemmican. She would freeze dry it, and here I am carrying all this food. Yay, the carnivore bar. She pushes the carnivore bar. Here I am carrying all this food, and she's just like got her backpack's super light. In fact, she took on some of my stuff, and at that time I wasn't vegetarian, but I was pretty close. And for her and I, so forever she's telling me about carnivore, and I'm always like, you are crazy, girl. And then there would come the time where I'm like, I'm going to give it a try because nothing else is working. And it just kept coming back around. It just kept coming back around. And so finally here I am again on who knows, cycle whatever, where I'm doing it, and I do feel great. I do feel the amazingness, but see, the hardest part is I understand it's a permission slip. And I love that you said I get to use this permission slip. When you're eating the meat, you get to go, thank you, permission slip. Thank you for getting me back to who I am, for helping me remove all the extra weight, let it all go. Thank you, permission slip. And I think, and so when I was watching you and RJ, I was loving that. I was just like going, yeah, because what I would do is I would understand it's a permission slip and I'd let it go. And I'd start taking back in all these permission slips that made me fat and made me feel unhealthy. And again, I understood I was giving them the permission slip for that experience. Okay, cool. Yeah. Had that experience, done with that experience. Would love to let that old man version of me go. It keeps climbing out of the grave. What the hell is with that? But no, I love that. And so there's one part in the interview you had with Carrie where you said, you're like, oh, we need that dopamine of, hit of, and now all of a sudden you can go, oh, you can just let that go. And you were saying how you're getting that with carnivore. You're
Mm.
getting that. And whether we give it a permission of dopamine or whatever, it's just that there's that letting go. There's that releasing of the version of us that has been so heavy. And, yeah, I'm using pints of ice cream for that. Um, but I love that you were just like, but it gets better and it gets better. And then that led into you going, oh my God, who I was 4 years ago, and then 3 years ago, and then it just keeps changing, and it just keeps getting better, and it keeps getting better, and I didn't think it could get better, and it just keeps getting better. I loved that. I grabbed onto that. I love that so much.
Yeah. And honestly, yes, it keeps getting better, but there's something about the rebel in me that the more that I get connected to God and to source, and the more that I hear spiritual people talk about that you can't be connected to source if you're eating low vibrational foods,
Oh,
I'm like, fucking watch me. Fucking watch me. I'm going to be so tapped in that you will be shocked. And
can't tell
I'm not
me
kidding
what
you.
to do.
People all the time, they're like, you need to eat the full color of the rainbow and you need to eat all the light and everything. And I'm like, let me show you. And I've got my other spiritual carnivore people. Like, I send them messages behind, like I'll text them or send them messages behind, the recording. And I'm like, dude, I'm elevating so much spiritually. This is crazy. And they're like, me too. And I'm like,
Yes.
this doesn't make sense that we're eating animal meat and animal fat, but we're grounding with the animal. If you think about it, there's a spirit in the plants and there's a spirit in the animals. And so if I give thanks and gratitude to that animal, and I am grounding with that animal, and I am offering up thanks to God for creating that animal, the farmer, the grass that it ate, the land that supported it, the rain, the sun, the air, everything that goes into that animal, how am I any different? And if you're talking about a life for a life, you just killed like 40 field mice for your crop. I kill 1 cow a year.
Yeah. Or you can just leapfrog over all that happy horse shit. Be that toddler you were a second ago. And go, and you can't tell me what to do. Low vibration, what is that bullshit? I'm not playing in that playpen. No thanks. And yes, and
I
that
do what I
has been,
want.
I know. Don't tell me, don't cage this God, because it ain't happening. And I've been from the get-go of for as long as I can remember, when I was a small child all the way up, being told these rules. And even with law of attraction and law of assumption, in came the rules. And I'm like going, okay, I love what you guys are saying, but let's drop the rules. Let's drop that you have to be in this state to manifest. This is why it's called Manifestation Real Talk. It's like, I don't do anything to raise a son every day, but yet I still do. I'm not doing all these, like I call them hoops and hacks. I am not doing anything. And it happens. The best stuff happens from me not doing anything, me not applying any rules. And it's, oh my God, there you are. And it's like, so I used to channel the Dragon Collective era, and this was way back in 2012 through 2015, and that was wonderful. And I had such a huge following, and I had international following, and my Facebook, this was back when Facebook was, and there was no such thing as Instagram or any of those. And I would put it out on YouTube, and I would do seminars. I would have sold out theaters. It was amazing. And then came, I was interacting with the actor Kyle Cease, and he's now a spiritual talk speaker, and he's funny, he's great. But he said to
Oh, yeah,
me,
I know him. I know him.
yeah, and he said to me once, he goes, "You do know there's no such thing as the Dragon Collective, right?" And he goes, "You do know that's all you." And I
Oh.
know, and I was like, I know, and I'm like going. At first, I was like, "Fuck you," and then that night, as I was channeling about that, it was echoed to me from the Dragon Collective. They're like, of course, we're you. We're just your permission slip to be brilliant. Everything that we're telling you is you telling you
Oh.
that. And I just went,
Oh.
oh my God. And then it's like, who am I without
Oh.
my following? If it's like Abraham Hicks, it's like Esther Hicks telling everybody, oh, it's been me all along. Sorry, I'm not channeling Abraham anymore. Can you imagine? Yeah, that's what happened to me. In fact, I still get emails of people going, "Where's the dragons?" And and but anyway, and oh, I I knew I was going to lose all that following, all that money, all of it, but I had to stand by me. I could not do it. There's no way I could keep that farce going, knowing now what I was knowing it was me all along being amazing. And it was just a dog and pony show of the going into a trance, and we are here now, and seeing it all and just going, wow. And from that moment on, it's been like that with everything. Anytime a rule or somebody is like, oh, God is coming in, and I'm channeling God or whatever, I'm always like, right on, right on. But you're not, don't you?
It's
It's
you.
you. It's you. You're the God. You are the creator of all of this, including something called a permission slip, called a God and a source and a wonderful, because you're that badass. You're that
Mm,
amazing.
mm.
And so, yeah, when I just saw you embodying that toddler, I can't help but crack up and love it, because I'm like, you can't, there you are. You can't cage you. You can't tell you what to do. It's like, no, this is me. This is me. You can give it a permission slip if we want, and we love the permission slips because they are awesome. They are our shortcut, but it's always me.
Yeah. And it's so funny because in my toddler years, my mom bought the book The Strong-Willed Child because she didn't know what to do. I mean, didn't
Do
know
with
what
you.
to do. Yeah. And it speaks so much to who I am now and today. And like I'm Emily and I'm gonna be Emily. And you can either like play along or you can get out of the way. Like
Hey, there's the MF between Emily and Penton. There it
Emily
is.
motherfucking Penton.
That's right. That's right. And that's why I took on the MF, is because I played for too long that I'm just a human. And so when anybody comes up with this, oh, we're a god playing a human role, I'm like, oh fuck no, I'm a human playing a god role. And it's like, oh, who am I if I'm not Kristen? Well, there was never an answer there. There was all this made up shit, but my imagination could always blow all that out of the water. And the problem was, every time I played in previous lives, reincarnation, heaven and hell, or anything like that, or death, who was telling the story? Who's telling the story? There's not a God or a source or a light telling that story. It was Kristen telling that story. And so it's like that Occam's razor. The most obvious answer is the most obvious answer. And it's like, oh, the God's right here. The God's in the most obvious space. You're
Mm.
right. I've never died. You're right. I've never stopped. I, Kristen, have never stopped existing. Not some invisible soul, light, God, spirit. None of that. No, that I'm
Mm.
searching and trying to find, and I can't find it, and it's separate from me, and it knows more than me, and
Mm.
that's no fun. Now the toddler right here, the motherfucking
Mm.
toddler, that's the one. And it's, oh, when
Yes.
that's where all that is coming from. And it's like,
Yes.
oh yeah, motherfucker. It's like, get out of the way, because it's Kristen motherfucking Clark. And if you can't handle that, that's good. Tuck you back into bed. You go back to sleep.
And
We'll
that's
serve you.
okay because
Yeah,
you're just not my audience.
yeah, yeah,
Like
and yeah.
there's hundreds of millions of billions of other people out there. You're just not for me and I'm not for
Uh,
you.
yeah,
Next.
yeah, and that's exactly it. Is because Neil Donald Walsh, the version of him I wanted to interact with, wasn't ready yet. And that's fine. That's cool. That's okay. And my friend Sanjala, who's in India, she goes, do you realize you just made yourself so much bigger with that? I know. She goes, you were holding that guy up on a pedestal. Well, all of a sudden, your bigger version of you showed you just how much.
Mm.
No, she goes, because that's her. I love how she says this is, we play small, and then we realize that there is nothing bigger than we are. There's nothing out there bigger than we are. And she goes, and boy, when you see that, and she goes, I love watching you. She goes, because you do it all the time. And I'm like, oh, thank you. I love it too. And, that's the MF. That's that
Mm-hmm.
MF. And that MF is in there to remind me of that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and that's what I was, oh my God. That again, that was why I reached out to you, is because yeah, there's these people over here that want to play small and want to pull me down into their smallness. And that's cool. That's fine. I'll give you a hug and move on. But it's the people like you that I'm like, oh, there's the gods I want to play with. There they
Yeah.
are.
My favorite is my husband. We've been together for 7 years. And so when we got together, I was batshit crazy. And I mean, just a shell of a human. Like I was down in there, like there was the diamond in the rough, and 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 under a mountain, like I don't even know how but he saw it. He saw my center of brilliance.
Oh.
he saw that center inside of me that was just so brilliant. And I think that I manifested that.
You
Like,
did.
I was
He was your
like,
permission slip.
he was my permission slip. And it was just so beautiful because he started speaking over me that I was who I am now. And he started telling me how smart I was and telling me how brilliant I was and telling me how beautiful I was. And I was like, this guy's delusional. This guy is crazy. All right. I'll sign up for this one because you're crazy. Like, there's no way that you can look at this and see brilliance. But he kept, I mean, it was exhaustive almost, like
Wow.
constant poems, letters, phone calls, like over and over and over. And I was like, all right, I'm going to pimp this one out as long as I can, like, but, and then all of a sudden I would start to say something and I'd be like, babe, I'm like really brilliant. He's like, I know. And
Oh.
I'm like, and then I would like do something and it would be successful. And I'm like, babe, look. And he's like, what do you want, a cookie? Like, I've told you for years how amazing you are. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then my favorite was, I went, it was Michaela Peterson. I went on her podcast and I'm like, babe, I'm on Michaela Peterson's radar. And he was like, Michaela Peterson is on your
It's on
radar.
your radar. Oh, I like him.
I was like, what? Like, yeah, amazing. And then whenever I would have like a really awesome interview or something, and he would just sit back and he's like, good, now everybody can know what I've known for 7 years. And I was like,
Oh,
oh, like, that's why I love
wow.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. And what an amazing manifestation you created and held right there. There was your Jesus, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Couldn't possibly see any dripping illness or anything. No, he's like, whatever you're seeing, I'm not seeing that. Oh my gosh.
I manifested him because I needed
Yes.
another human being outside of me to see my brilliance so that I could like believe it.
Yeah.
And then all of
Yeah.
a sudden I start believing it. And now I'm like flying.
He was
And
your Abraham. He was your Dragon Collective. He was you.
yep.
That was you channeling. And there's in my website, I have a saying that I tell people that is like a therapist's job or coach or whatever you want to call us. Our job is not to fix you because you're not broken. It's to see the version of you that's not broken and hold it until you see it too. Oh, and that
You
was
got to be the
like
visionary. You got to see the
yes.
vision first and then
Yeah.
pitch that vision to that person. And if they see it, cool. If they don't,
That's all right. Well, I
next.
my podcast used to be called the Slamming Door Sessions because that's that's what yeah, and I don't know if you know the story about Neville Goddard and his teacher Abdullah, but
Mm-mm.
anytime Neville would like want to ask a question, well, how do I go to Barbados? How do I make this man? How do I manifest this? Abdullah would be like, you're already there and you went first class. And he'd turn around, slam his door in Neville's face. And Neville's like, and if you slam the door, that was not an invitation to go in and continue the conversation. And I love that because that was him saying, I'm not seeing you any other way, and slam the door. And every time you try and bring it up. And so I love that it was a slamming door sessions and I had a co-host on that one. And we actually had a girl come on a guest who came on, and I warned her. I said, I'm going to slam the door on you if you try and bring up anything other than your brilliance and your amazingness. And so I don't even remember I think it was I just would interrupt her. And so that, sure enough, she started bringing it up, and I went, slam the door. And my co-host was like, oh my God, I can't believe you do that. And I'm like, fuck yes, I would. I don't want to talk about that. It was like you going, duck. Don't bring that, losing that rib, not talking there, not going there. And literally when you start slamming the door on so I tell this story, and people who are listening they know this story, but my bedroom, it was supposed to snow. I love snow. And I woke up and I looked out and it didn't snow. And I was all bummed. And I went, you know what? I'm not available for that. Slam the door on that. It snowed. So I went in here into the kitchen to make my coffee, and I look out the kitchen window and there's an inch of snow on everything. And that's it. You
I love
slam
it.
the door. And oh my God, I love that he's your husband now.
Oh,
He was
he's
just slamming the door left and right on you.
mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that.
And now he's trained me so well that I slam the door on that motherfucker.
I
And
love it.
we do it all the time. Like we co-create some of the most beautiful things because iron sharpens iron. And it was almost like, and now I don't know if he manifested me or if I manifested him, but I don't even care
Who cares?
because yeah,
It's
there's
all about
sometimes
you, baby. There's your
where
answer.
he's like, you're my greatest gift. And I'm like,
Oh,
yes, like let's keep going. Like we are almost like disgusting the way that we just like drip in joy and love and like it's just unstoppable. Like we've had tragedy after tragedy thrown at us and we just laugh. Like we literally just laugh and we're just like, is that all you got? Like, come
oh my
on.
God, I love
So
that. And
keep an
so
eye on
here it
us. Like it's going
is.
to be an awesome future.
Oh, well, ditto here too. Here it is. You manifested your greatest gift without even trying, from being in the deepest and darkest of dumps, and you were digging. You manifested him. You are still being the motherfucking God you are. And we can give as much as we want to these things we manifest, as much power as we want, but no, baby, it all came from here. Here I was playing the role of but I was still manifesting like a motherfucker. And look at you go. And this is why I always tell people, I'm like, oh, you're always going to get to the other side. Yeah, you're depressed right now. You'll get to the other side. You always have. And I love that about you, because you were saying this once in Carrie's. You said, bipolar. You don't cure bipolar. You're saying that. And I was like going, oh, but you did. And you got to the other side. You waded through that muggy, nasty crap, but you got to the other side. We always get to the other side. And so if I'm in a situation of disaster or anything, I'm always like, yeah, I kind of access the other side version of me. I kind of reach out to her and go, okay, so what's this like? I was at a airport, and last Christmas, I don't know if you remember, but all the flights were being canceled left and right. That whole debacle. I was in the middle of that debacle. I was in Florida trying to get home. And see, my situation, there was no reason why my flight should have been canceled. But it doesn't matter, because I arrived at the airport at 3:30 in the morning, and there was this outrageous line, and I'm going, what's going on? And I just reached out to the version of me that got onto the other side of this. And she was like, oh, honey, this takes care of itself. Don't worry about it. And so I did, I pulled out my phone. I was just scrolling and everything. And all of a sudden I'm in this big, long line. And I knew if I stayed in that line, I was never going to make my flight. But I was like, I get to the other side of this. Let's see what happens. And I feel a tap on my shoulder, and it's one of the people that works there and says, follow me. I'm going to take you to a new line that's opening up right now. You're the first one. I know. And I'm like, of course, this is me. This is the way my reality works. And then again, I get into this other security line, and I'm way in the back, and they're like, is there anybody traveling single? And I'm like, me. And they brought me right up to the front. And of course, everything. And yes, my flight got canceled, but I just had this impulse to get on cheap flights online, and I got on there, and everybody else was trying to interact with the company, which was United, that was canceling. Me, I just went straight to my phone, and I reached out, and the lady that actually answered the phone was like, oh, you're in Orlando? Let's see. I think I can get you a flight out tonight. And I'm like, okay, well, they're saying there's no flights going out. And she goes, I got one for you. And so I'm like, and I'm standing there, and there just happened to be this family listening in on my conversation. And they're like, did you get out? Did you get out? And I'm like, yeah. And so I handed them my phone, and they start talking to her, and she gets them on a flight through my phone. I know. And everything's just lining up and lining up. And and then, they gave me my phone and they got on their phone with her, and we separated ways, and they were from Australia. It was all cool. And I go to the flight and they're like, okay, 12 hours. You've got 12 hours before your flight leaves. So just go play, have fun. Here's all these free vouchers for food and everything. And that that was the most wonderful 12 hours of interacting with people, but more than anything, interacting with magic. The
Mm.
magic that was happening. And it was because I listened to that version of me that got to the other side, who was like, honey, this all takes care of itself. And it's so much fun. And at one point, I'm like, okay, I'm flying into not the airport where my LAX, where my car is. I'm flying into another airport that's about an hour away. How am I going to get to my car? And once again, I heard, honey, this takes care of itself. So I'm like, okay.
Mm.
I go and I sit in, I'm off on the floor near an outlet so I can charge my phone. Nobody's around me. I'm far away. I'm not even where my gate is. I'm far away. And all of a sudden, this kid walks by, and I just happened to glance up, and I said, "Oh, hey, aren't you with the Australian family?" He goes, "Oh, you're the girl!" And he yells for his dad, and his dad comes over, and he goes, "Are you flying into?" I know. He's like, "Are you flying into this airport?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "You want to carpool with us? We got to go to LAX." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" And it all, it's just, you can't write this shit. You can't sit there and try and manifest
Oh,
this
that's
shit.
so
And
beautiful.
yeah, so we flew together, and his daughters ended up being like, "Oh my God, you're on YouTube. I love you. You're so happy. Oh my God, you got to get a TikTok account." And I'm like, "You can do my TikTok account. I'll do that." But yeah, and we ended up, and they are used to driving on the other side of the road and everything. So they're like, "You drive the car," and they ended up being the best people and the most wonderful time. They manifested me, I manifested them. I don't
Ooh.
care how it worked out. It worked out perfect for me.
Oh.
And yeah, it's just like you always get to the other side. You're in
Mhm.
the middle of a catastrophe, that's fine. You can wallow if you like, or you can reach out to the version of you that got to the other side because you've never stopped existing. And it's like,
Mm.
that's what I was seeing the version of you that got to the other side, the version of that little child, that toddler. And I'm like going, oh, yeah, and we don't have to talk about any of that shit. Let's talk about the toddler. Let's talk about the fun, the magic, the miracles. Let's talk about
Yes.
that.
And what I love about me meeting my husband whenever I was 260 pounds, I was on 900 milligrams of lithium, 80 milligrams of Prozac, 80 milligrams of Adderall just to get out of bed every day, and Ambien to sleep every night. And I had no idea, but I had multiple sclerosis. I had already had the symptoms of multiple sclerosis, just not the diagnosis. But I followed none of the rules to manifest my husband. None.
Of
I
course you
followed
did.
none of the rules to
Yes.
manifest carnivore, to manifest resolving bipolar disorder, to manifest resolving multiple sclerosis. I didn't follow any rules,
No,
and it happened.
no. And the funny thing is on your Instagram, you have two pictures of you in the same dress, leaning on that car. And that first version of you, which was probably 200 pounds, whatever, she
260.
I fully can see. I was almost like, wait, there's no difference between these two pictures. Because there you were, big smile. There you were. The God, you was right there. And I couldn't see. Yes, there it is. There it is. The same smile, the same pose. In fact, the 200 version of you has a better smile than the other version of you. I mean, you were just shining through all of that for
Mm.
anybody to see. And that's like, when I first thought of having you here, here comes the rules version of me going, oh, well, I haven't been carnivore for very long. I'm too fat. I know. And there's a part of me sitting here going, did you really just say that? Oh, shut the fuck up. Come on. And it's like you don't have to get to any ceiling version of you to be that person. You don't have to. You don't have to
Mm.
lose the weight. You don't have to be cured. You don't have to be any of that to be this amazing version of you because it's already there. It's already
Mm.
underneath all the shit, shining far, far, far brighter than any disease or any illness or anything you're taking on, any permission slip to be sick that you're taking on. Your brilliance shines right through that. It's like nobody's business. Like up here in the mountains where I live, I can be driving at night in the darkest forest. It's so dark. But if there's a house way back in there that has a little light on, oh, it shines through. And that's you. That's everybody. It's like, it doesn't matter what actor outfit, Mickey Mouse outfit you've got on, you're still shining through. You're still animating that. You, the God, you'll always at some point take that off and you get to the other side. And I love that all I have to do is just reach out to the part of me that's gotten to the other side. And she's just like, yeah, that takes care of itself. Quit playing with it. Quit playing in that sandbox. Let's get out.
I love that. I am going to forever remember that story. Thank you so much.
Oh, me too. Because it was such an invitation to play the game that everybody else was playing around me. I mean, I was surrounded by panic and freak out and screaming and Karens and all of that. I was surrounded.
Sometimes it's fun to watch, though.
I know.
Sometimes it's so entertaining.
I know. And just to be like, I'm gonna play Bejeweled on my phone during this. And knowing and just, there's something so wonderful in that letting go. And that is why you came through with such flying colors and such an amazing story. And with that man who embodied your future self was there. There was your future self right there holding your hand, raining so many compliments down on you and just holding that mirror up, the mirror of, no, this is you. This is you. Oh, okay. I'm manifesting that next. I want that man next.
Oh my gosh. He's so delicious and just magnificent. Like I literally am the luckiest girl in the whole world, but he's the luckiest guy in the whole world. So we're the perfect couple.
So, next interview, I'm going to have both of you on here.
I would love it.
Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be fun? Oh my gosh. Well, I think we've hit the end. Yes. And we're definitely, I know this isn't going to be the last one you and I are talking and chatting. And anytime you want to talk, reach out to me. And anybody, you guys that's watching this, I'm going to have all her information down below, but it's so easy to find her. Just put in emilypenton.com.
Anywhere.
And and she comes up. And she's got Instagram, Facebook, and she's all over YouTube with interviews and being interviewed. And this has just been so much fun.
But if you do go watch those interviews, this one's better. This one's so much better because all I do is like say the same thing and tell the same story. But this is like, I get to talk about everything.
Yes. The version of her husband saw is shining through here.
Yes.
And but how wonderful that you were just like, I don't want any more of those interviews. This is the interview I want. And you manifested me. Ta-da.
Yay.
You're so unstoppable. You are so unlimited.
I'm unstoppable and I'm unfuckwithable. I am literally titanium and Teflon. Like everything that comes at me just slides right off.
And thank you to everybody that enjoyed this. Comment below, reach out to Emily. If here she is a clinical psychologist or clinician.
I have my master's. I'm not licensed. I have my master's, but I dropped my license.
Yeah, if you are ready to approach self-help from a revolutionary, from this space, come on. There it is. She can be your permission slip. She can be the one that's going to hold your brilliance until you see it too.